Testing spooky, scary skeletons. Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Yan. The day after the night before. Throwing it all away at St. James's Park, being eliminated from the cup. Well, Maresca said some stuff about that. We might talk about it. But I do want to talk about Cole Palmer being nominated for Player of the Month again. Consecutive month nominations. Could he win it again? Andre Santos. Have we kept the wrong midfielder? And the guy that cost very little money tearing up in France. Looks like the guy we should be having in the squad. And a boost for the weekend game away at Manchester United, because football does go on. It does. Happy Halloween. Guys, we're going to get into it today. It's going to be a fun video. As always, I want to bring you guys the insight, the hopefully fun humor at times. And if you're on for the ride, then drop a like on the video, and if you dig the content, then subscribe. And if you choose to subscribe, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Let's go. Alright, mate, just quickly on yesterday, Maresca was asked why he didn't bring on Cole Palmer, and he was like, look, mate, I thought Nkunku and Joao Felix were doing good. Yeah, but look, let's just get this straight. He didn't give a F about this game. I heard on the London is Blue podcast, should we qualified, they would have put us in a position to play 3 games in 5 days or something. Something ridiculous, like a Premier League, the quarterfinal, and indeed a Conference League game. I don't know if that's true, but maybe he had that on his mind. And I just don't think he cared that much. I reckon he thought, like, look, if the B team can do it, good on them, wicked, we move, and qualify, and that's good for them and their development. And if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I'm annoyed because we haven't won it for a decade, or like 9 years, going on 10 years by the time we're back in it. And we haven't won a domestic trophy for 6 years, going on 7 years if we don't win the FA Cup, and we're almost certainly gonna not win the Premier League. Say it quiet. Maybe Maresca thinks we're gonna win the Premier League. I don't. So look, I think he threw it in, mate. The fact how he only made 1 substitution, and that was bringing on a right winger for someone who was not a right winger playing on the right wing. Even though I was frustrated with him not naming certain players in the squad, he could have utilised Chukwuemeka, Guiu, Palmer, even bringing on Colwill for a bit to put his foot on the ball and start playing, spraying passes around better. I think it was very poor. I think the players let themselves down, but I think it's more on the manager because, if you want to win that game, you can make it so you've got a much better chance to win it. And I think he threw in the towel, mate. Now, we might look back on this in the future and think, you know what? It's fine. We win the Conference League. We qualify for the Champions League. It's a great season. We've got some good high performers. We've got an identity, and it's, it was party time again. Do you know what I mean? And if that's the case, fine, whatever. But I'm not happy, I must say, because I like to win trophies and games of football, ideally. There's only so long theory and conceptual ideas can get you, but we started to look like we were entering the era of winning football matches and trying to qualify into next round. So I was peed off, bro. I was. Let's move on. All right then, Cole Palmer's been nominated for, I keep nearly saying Manager of the Month. Manager of the Month, Player of the Month, consecutive months. Other than, there's not that many high-profile players in there. There's, Dan Wood, who's done very well, scoring goals for Forest. Saka's in there, though. I think Saka's been unavailable for games, so still, there's a chance if he wins back-to-back Player of the Month. I don't think we've ever had that. In the Premier League era, have we? I'm not sure we have. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section below, but that's super good for Cole. And, of course, bringing up are we ever going to beat the Cole Palmer FC allegations? Because that was a good test against a good side yesterday for the B team, and they failed, bro. Now, again, I don't want to stay on this game, but it could have still been the B team with just a couple of different changes that would have made it much better. First of all, let's say Reece James is the starting right back because he's really, really good, and Gusto is the sort of might play right back, left back in games, different positions. Gusto starts instead of Disasi. Already that's huge, I think, genuinely, because Disassi is awful in that game. I mean, just that alone. And then bringing on Chukwuemeka at 55 minutes, and then bringing on Cole Palmer. Anyway, look, it still can be largely the B team, but just missing that little amount of sprinkles to make it better. Cole Palmer, ruddy wicked, God bless him. Can we clone him? That's the question, because we need a few more. Righty-ho. Next up, Andre Santos. Absolutely tearing it up for Strasbourg. In Ligue 1. In France. He's doing very, very well. He's the highest scoring central midfielder in the top 5 European leagues. He's been crashing the box, scoring goals, dictating games, passing really well. They love him out there over in Strasbourg. And he's doing really, really well. He can be a goal threat, but he's not. His first and primary function isn't to be a goal threat. And when you look at performances from the likes of Enzo Fernandez yesterday, you think like just having Santos. Santos could play a lot for Chelsea this season as a starting B team player. It might come at the at the expense of Cesare Cassidy not getting minutes, Dewsbury Hall not getting those extra minutes playing in the double pivot. I mean, whatever, Maybe we see a relationship between Vega and Santos, or maybe Vega yesterday plays. I mean, I've heard Nick Fellaini on the London is Blue say this. You play maybe Vega a Cucurella at right back, which he's done before. Vega at left back who inverts, and then you in the midfield you've got like Enzo Fernandez and Andre Santos. Ooh, already that just feels so much nicer, right? Look, this obviously is coming from a frustration, naturally. I'm taking a deep breath and looking deep inside, and yes, I'm annoyed, and that's why I'm sort of trying to find like alternative solutions and doing revisionism. This is what we do as football fans. But yeah, he would be hella useful, Andre Santos. And not necessarily to replace Enzo Fernandez, but maybe to play with him. But I know he's probably having a good developmental loan and stint being back at Strasbourg, playing at a high level, being that guy, being the important guy. At the moment, our guys looks like Caicedo and Lavia. He's not gonna. Maybe he would take their places, but for the moment, it does seem like it's a good idea at Strasbourg. Should we talk about Enzo Fernandez a bit? Enzo Fernandez is a good footballer. He is, believe it or not. He's a World Cup winner. He's a Copa America winner as an important player. He was earmarked at Benfica by Real Madrid, not just Chelsea. Lots of teams were looking at him. He's playing very well in the Champions League at the time, if memory serves. And he's played well for Chelsea at times. In fact, he's had certain moments for Chelsea where he's looked ruddy wicked. There was like a Monday Night Football or a Sky Sports analysis by Jamie Carragher saying when he won Man of the Match, saying he was amazing. Probably against Liverpool. That's why probably Carragher was analysing it. That play is in there. He is. Now, I'm not going to regurgitate what some tabloid stuff said about him, but apparently there's some personal stuff going on with him at the moment, with his family. So maybe that's affecting his game, but the truth is my position's kind of the same. I feel like it's a profiling issue. I think we're looking at him expecting stuff from him that he's simply not equipped to deliver. He is a great player, though. I'm not saying he's a busted flush. I'm not saying he won't be effective for Chelsea in certain ways. But it's up to Maresca, his namesake, and Enzo to find a way to, crowbar this bro in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so tough. And for the moment, I'm not saying he can't play for the B team. I think his partner was inappropriate. I think there was a great amount of dysfunction in that Chelsea performance yesterday. And it should be up to him to put his foot on the ball and run the game and get his head up and make things better, which he didn't do. But maybe he's fallen victim to the dysfunction of the second team. And, I understand he was recently in the first team, so I can understand it. Look, it's fine. I think he's on relatively high wages, but he's still within the wage structure. He's not on, Reece James and Kunku wages, or certainly and nowhere near, Raheem Sterling and what Lukaku was on. He's on probably about 150k a week, which is manageable. And of course, he's, like I said, he's a World Cup winner, Copa America winner. He's a high-profile player. he will probably, if get paid more than that at some point in his career, whether that's at Chelsea or elsewhere. It's hard to fit him in. Please leave your thoughts on Enzo Fernandez down below. Let's move on. So I do want to talk about Man United. This is not a preview of that game, which I probably will do tomorrow or the day after. But we've had confirmation from the media at large that Ruben Amorim will not start work at Manchester United until the international break. Which I think is good news. Many of you might think, oh, it would be good if he was suddenly just thrown in the dugout for Sunday because he wouldn't have had time to sort his team out and implement ideas with them, and maybe he tries to keep it the same or slightly different. True to a degree, but I am pleased that it won't be him and it will be Ruud, and we can talk about that in a moment, Ruud van Nistelrooy. I am pleased because at least Enzo Maresca, who sets up quite intelligently for different games. We thought he was going to be this dogmatic one way, my way or the highway every game, but no, he does alter plans and he is pretty sensible and smart. If it was Ruben Amorim, not only would it be party time trying to impress the new gaffer, like every player running for their lives, which they seem to be doing a bit for Van Nistelrooy, which was expected. New manager bounce, ding dong, Ten Hag is dead, he's out of here. So there was always going to be a bit of that. But at least now we know they are going to play a 4-2-3-1 system. They are going to play, Dalot at fullback. They are going to play Martinez and friggin' De Ligt together. They're going to play Onana in goal. He's going to play a certain way. They're going to play a double midfield pivot of Ugarte and Casemiro Eriksson. Like, it's going to be pretty done predictable in that sense. And, up top, it's going to be Fernandez in the 10, surrounded by 3 players, and we know exactly how they're going to do. Now, of course, they had a bit of a fiesta themselves at Old Trafford last night, beating Leicester 4-2. Or was it 5-2? Was it 5-2? I think it might have been. But it was a great result for them. Let's just quickly... It's 5-2, yeah. So they had 2 goals from Casemiro. He's certainly gassing himself up yesterday. One of them was a worldie, to be fair, I did see. 2 goals from him, Garnacho, and 2 goals from Bruno Fernandes. Probably getting terribly excited about the arrival of a Portuguese manager coming to make United whole again. Now, at the end of the day, they still conceded 2 goals at home to a promoted side. Of course, they're scoring goals, and to be honest, I'm looking at the stats. They had 9 shots on target to Leicester's 7 shots on target. So they conceded chances, and they are not defensively resolute. Interesting to see. Again, I'm not properly previewing this, but it's interesting to see interim coach Ruud van Nistelrooy, United legend, playing a double pivot of 2 CDMs in Ugarte and Casemiro. And Casemiro's scoring, looking like a rolling back the years. So, it's going to be tougher, I think, than it would be for Ten Hag. I guess it would. Although every now and again, they would just turn up for Ten Hag, these man. It's going to be tougher, but I straight up would prefer it to be like this than for Ruben Amorim to come in, because there'd be such new... Because I know he was Ruud as the gaffer, and him taking charge is exciting, but he's been in the stadium all season, there. Do you know what I mean? And he's had his moment now as the manager, managing at home. So that's done. If it was the first game of Ruben Amorim, I think not only would we have no means of preparing that, what do we do? Do we look at his sporting team? Do we scout that and prep for that? Or do we look at the last game United played under Ten Hag, or this one under Ruud? Are they going to just do that again? What's he going to do? And you don't know how to prepare. But now you can just look at that and go, right, we prepare for that. We know exactly where the players are going to play in their roles. It's going to be fine, hopefully. It friggin' better be fine, because the fact that we didn't use any first team players in that game against Newcastle at St James's Park infers that we do want to go all in on Sunday. Now, we beat Man United on Sunday. Everyone forgets about, most people forget about the cup. I'll still remain frustrated, but we all have our, means or whatever. We need to beat Manchester United, essentially. I do think it's a boost. I think Ruben Amorim's a good appointment for Manchester United. I'm pleased. We'll play them away first. If we get a result away at Old Trafford, That's money, mate. Do you know what I mean? If we beat them, I think, you know, we got to beat them. We got to beat them, man. It's Man United. I know they're feeling good now, but we've got to beat them. But if we beat them, bro, that's money. We got that 3 points away in the bag. By the time Amorim's in and settled, you've got to come to our gaff. Granted, our home form is patchy, but it's still like, you know, it's just good, isn't it, that way around? So yes. Guys, what do you think? Please let me know. Comment your thoughts on Chelsea down below. Oh my god, that rhymed. I think I should have done some sort of Halloween themed one. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Little reminder, if you want to follow me on socials, at Football Yannick on Instagram. My second YouTube channel is Football Yannick on YouTube. And I hope to see you back here soon. Love you. Goodbye.